Cape Town and took tours. And our first tour was a winery, and it's actually owned by Heidelberg. Not Heidelberg.
Heineken.
Heidelberg is a printing machine. I'm sorry. I'm not a beer drinker either. And they had just bought this winery about 6 months prior to when we took this tour. So the employees hadn't even gotten their changeover paperwork from the company yet. They were still operating under Nuremberg winery. And we did a wine tasting, and these are just some of the grounds we were on. I'm going to pass this around also. On the front and the back, that's a sample of their wines. They had 5 wines that we tasted. And if you look at my writing, some of them were absolutely horrible. And they were upset that I told them that. But I don't remember, so I'm not a wine drinker either. But, you know, it's always good to drink wine with certain foods and all that stuff they say, you know, and they didn't give us no food, so yeah. So that was kind of my thing about that. But you can see the country. This is Flat Mountain, Tabletop Mountain. It was lots of clouds, and it looks like it's always overcast because Cape Town is actually in between 2 mountain ranges. And the mountain ranges are about 35 miles apart. And all that flat land in there is either fertile farming land, winery land, or people living in between there. But because it's between 2 mountain ranges, they have a real ongoing wind. A calm day is about 15-mile-an-hour wind. This right here is the second largest granite formation in the world. And that's all granite all around there. And the first largest one is in Australia.
Mitch,
So,
are these prices on this wine list American prices?
that's the range. Okay, that was the other thing I was gonna say is, okay, in South Africa, South Africa is the lower 1/3 region of the whole continent of Africa. And it's 9 provinces, and the rand at the time that we were there is 16.68 per $1. So if I gave them a $10 bill, they give me 170 rand back. So it was a real good rate. You know, we would go to eat, and we think we were paying lots of money for a great meal, and end up paying $45 for both of us to eat. You know, great food, you know, good service. People were polite. Okay, so I'm getting off track. Go. After the wine tour, this is actually the prison that Mandela spent his last 2 years in captivity in. And we were passing by that going to and from the winery. And yeah, that has it's a statue of him, and this is a closer one of him up there. And that granite formation was Mount Parle. I'm off track. And that's Drakenstein Prison, where he spent his last 2 years. And you know, the other time was spent at Robben Island. That's where it's famous. But before they released him, they brought him to the mainland, and he spent his last 2 years in prison there.
He had more freedom there. He actually lived in a cottage and was actually able to do some gardening.
Does it look like only one house?
Well,
Oh no, it goes on further back. This is all we could see from the road.
Oh, okay.
Now, also, I took a picture of this sign because this is Drakenstein. This is a prison. It's a waterworks. It's a repair shop. You know, so they do a whole bunch of other stuff at the prison. The prisoners do. You know, so, but this is more of a wine country. And you can see the, you know, just the, if you either live in the valley and they farm up on the hills, and overall, the more money you have, the higher up the hills you live.
Oh.
So, you know, and you'll see that as we go. Those are actually seals. You can't tell out there on the rocks here. But everything was, you know, this was probably 45 miles outside of Cape Town. So when we, you know, would go, if you go back.
This is actually on the coastline back in Cape Town.
Okay.
And that's the hospital.
This is the hospital where they had the world's first heart transplant.
Oh.
Y'all didn't know that was in Cape Town. You would think it might have been in America, but it was actually in Africa, in the African doctor.
Okay.
And that's a picture of Mandela and Desmond Tutu. Desmond Tutu got his start in Africa. They all went to college together and different things like that. So, a couple of other, this is actually what Cape Town looks like from the air. That Table Rock Mountain, those clouds you saw, this is it from the air. And Robin took these while we were flying in, so I wanted you to see that.
Come this side.
Oh, y'all can't see. I'm sorry.
A little bit closer, that way you're not.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, okay. No, I'm fine. I was just trying to be out of everybody's way. A couple of other things about Cape Town. Go ahead. I want to see where we are. Just more pictures. Yeah. The population for Cape Town is about 4 million people, 2% white, 10% colored, and 88% black. Now, if you're like us, you wanted to know what colored meant, you know. And it was a white guy doing the tour, so we was trying to wait to catch up with somebody black to say, well, what do they mean by color? And it was Indians, mixed race, Africans, and white, and that's how they classified color. And that's actually the pecking order: white, color, Africans.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
2% are white?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's basic apartheid. This is the hotel we stayed in. Let's see, most people live in the flat between two mountain ranges. Okay. Their largest exports are fruits, wine, tourism. That's what they export mostly out of South Africa, near Cape Town.
Did you really want that to go on?
What is it?
It's from the lecture.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. That's where I got most of my information from lectures we went to. Okay. And they were talking about when, oh, yeah, you can skip past that.
It won't go.
Oh, then, did we probably finish that? Yep, that's done.
Okay.
So, down.
Want me to scroll?
Down, that's so low. Okay. This was the second tour that we went on. It's Aquila Game Reserve, and you can just kind of flip through.
Is that apple?
As the apple. Yes.
Yeah, that's an aloe plant. And you can just go through.
Okay.
They talk about the Big Five. For this plantation, I took this video because people actually go to a game reserve for a vacation there. So like we go to the beach, they go to a game reserve. And so they had swimming pools and stuff like that. And that's some of the mountain range there. The country is actually very beautiful. Even though it might look like it's barren when you get down in there, you know, it's lots of animals. They give you a thing about the baboons. You know, we passed baboons going. These are cottages that are actually in the range. So they used to have them where they were inside the electrified fence, but people would get drunk and go out and hang out with the animals. And so they had to dial it back to where they couldn't get in except for on a tour. But those are the huts that they used to, and now
The game wardens
stay in those houses now because they can't trust the public to stay out on the reserve and stay in the house after dark. The big five are the rhino, a lion, a hippo, an elephant, and a Cape buffalo. So that was the first set of pictures. Antelope. And then overall, the African big five, you would change out the hippo for a leopard. But the hippo actually kills more people in Africa than any other animal. Just because people want to go swimming in the rivers, and hippos are territorial. The big five for this game reserve is rhino, lion, hippo, elephant, and Cape buffalo. And you would take out the hippo for the leopard, because the leopard is actually more elusive. But they didn't have one at this game reserve. All the video is compliments of my wife. Yeah. I just took the pictures. And that zebra is pregnant. We went during the time where lots of animals were pregnant or having babies. That goes a young zebra. I'd like to create a calendar with my pictures for next year. So, now these are still all animals, and you see the rhino there. As you look at these pictures, that's a mother and the baby there. So, and we're in this truck. It's probably 20 people in it, and the sides are canvas. You know. And as soon as we got too close, the mother got in between us and started coming to our truck. Fortunately for me, I was on the other side of the truck. The same thing happened when the elephant came. And I'm going, this canvas is not working for me. But, you know, they are very protective. And this, all that brown, light gray stuff is dung. They use that kind of as a marking territory. They walk around their area and they just poop and stay in those areas where they done, you know. And this is one of
the ugly five.
the wildebeest. And they said they got a big five of all the dangerous animals, then they got ugly five, and the wildebeest is part of the ugly five. And it said it's mixed up because the wildebeest, keep going, it might be a better picture. Yeah, that picture right there. So the wildebeest right there, he has the horns like a Cape buffalo. He has a tail like a horse. He has a hump like a hyena. And he has stripes like a zebra. And a face that only a mother could look. Now that was straight from the tour guide's mouth. I made sure I wrote it down just like that, so you can see. And that's the Cape buffalo there. And these are the bad boys of their game reserve. Anytime a vehicle is damaged or a fence is torn up, it's the Cape buffaloes that's been doing it. They roam at night and tear up everything. So whenever a vehicle is damaged, they say even if we run it down into a hole and it's our fault, we blame it on the buffaloes. They do tear up some of their vehicles. Now on this reserve, all of their large predator animals, the lions in this case, were all separated. They feed them every day. So they didn't hunt their game. And another one we'll have where they have to survive on their own. So all these pictures are, all the lions are in their own enclosure. And so this, we just drove through, we actually came around the tree before we saw them.
Sleeping.
Mr. Barry, when was this trip? I know you can't remember.
December 21st through January 6th.
Okay.
So was it summer there?
Yes, it was summertime in Africa. It was still cool
What's the
some days.
temperature? Yeah.
The highs were, it was hot there. And some days it was, 70,
Yeah.
but it was probably 85 there. And that was a juvenile giraffe.
Yeah.
We didn't see any adults, but the juvenile was hanging out, so we took pictures. More antelope. They say you can tell a zebra is healthy by how straight their mane is, sticking up on their back. So if it's kind of leaning, they might, either be needing water or not healthy or something like that. And all of theirs were very healthy.
So you can see
That's
the
it, though.
canvas size. That's what
Yeah, you see the size? That worried me to no end.
That's what you're talking about, Mr. Barry?
That's
Yeah.
what
This right here, that's just like that canvas stuff you be on a tent.
Oh, no.
You know.
There's an opening in
I'd be
between.
scared.
And
I don't know the
How
texture.
fast would
Uh,
that
I
boogie
know.
go? I won't get out of the way.
we were, cause I think it's gonna be in one of these where one of the elephants start coming toward the Jeep too. Now it was coming from the side. He didn't even know.
it's the next.
Oh, the next one? Okay.
Okay.
But that was the matriarch of that group of elephants. So we're gonna go, that was it? So we go over, down. Okay, this was our next stop. This was Walvis Bay.
Now, this is still,
Oh, no, we're still in Cape
in
Town.
Cape Town, actually,
Oh, yeah, okay. This is Maiden's Cove.
yeah.
Yeah, this was our third tour in Cape Town. So we were going down to, Cape Point, which is the southernmost tip of Africa, which was about 65, 70 miles from Cape Town. So that's where the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean meet, right there. And that's Cape Point right there. But on our way down at Maiden's Point, this right here, I took this picture. Now this park, Maiden's Park, looks like Riverfront Park.
Okay.
Low-cut grass, sidewalks, but you see that sign right there? Yeah, it's 365 snakes in Africa. And they had 3 different snakes you needed to watch out for. So needless to say, I got out of the grass and stayed on the pavement. Because, I mean, I couldn't believe it that, you could, there's snakes everywhere, so I didn't want to see any. Because I didn't want my wife talking about me, huh?
Cobra, rattlesnake, and what was the
And,
other one?
A boom sign.
yeah, it was, yeah. Now, fortunately, we didn't see any,
Okay.
but I didn't take any chance. I got back on the grass. And,
On the road.
yeah. Now, they have African penguins in Africa, so,
In Cape Town, we're basically just going around Cape Town.
yeah, all of this is within 100 miles, or less than 100 miles of Cape Town.
Yeah, we had to walk to walk down to the Penguins. We were actually on the boardwalk, walking through neighborhoods and stores and restaurants.
Yeah.
And you get down to the shore and the Penguins were.
Yeah.
Are they friendly?
It's elevated and boarded off, you stay on the boardwalk.
Yeah, they didn't want
away
us
from
getting
it.
close to them. Okay, this is, one of the, light towers that used to, long time ago, would navigate ships coming into Cape Point and, the Cape of Good Hope. And they would, shoot a beacon off of that and transfer into different ports. So we went to that, they would walk up and down that. Yeah, more seals out there, ostriches. All of these are just along the highway as you driving, you know. And now, this is another funny story. So, you know how people like to take selfies? There was a lady trying to get the ostrich in the background. And she's running, looking back, the ostrich is running, and I'm thinking, when the ostrich gets tired, you know, but she was really trying to get a selfie with one of the ostriches on the side of the road and had the whole bus laughing. Okay, now this is a good picture of the 35 miles. That's a mountain range and the other mountain range on the other side. So all of that is habitat where people live and then go up and live on the mountains on either side. So of those 4 million people, probably 3.5 million of them stay in that flat land that's probably from the coast of Cape of Good Hope all the way back up to Cape Town. This was where we were, Cape Point, right here.
Okay.
But those mountain ranges and those clouds, that's where everybody stays. Now some days, the wind might get up to 45, 50 miles an hour, sand is blowing, and it can blow up to 4 or 5 days in a row where they have to close the houses up and everybody stays in, you know.
Come go to your next section.
So this is where we were,
Okay.
and we're gonna go from Cape Town up to Walvis Bay. We're gonna go up north, and then we're gonna sail back down and around and go up the east side of Africa. That's gonna be what we do. Okay. Yeah.
How long was that trip?
We stayed in Cape Town 4 days, and then we were on the ship for 16 days.
Oh, is it that long?
So this is Walvis Bay. So we sailed up to Namibia. That's what I was saying on the thing. So it's the second largest city in South Africa, 110,000 people in Walvis Bay. It's 2.6 million in Namibia. It's the second least populated country in South Africa because it's desert and stuff like that. So that 4% white, and this was actually settled by Germans. Okay, and that's just a big container ship that I was taking pictures of. And go back one. That's how big the ship is. And then I zoomed in. These are the little people down here. So when you see container ships, you know, packed way up, and you can see how big the walls are now that I've zoomed in on the people. You can't see the top of the wall now. Okay, this is Dune 7. It's supposed to be a famous dune where the military for South Africa trained and did all that. It's just desert, power lines. They ship their water through power.
So those big pipes carry the water. They get the water from the ocean, desalinated, and then pump it hundreds of miles north. That's how people in northern Namibia get water, because it's desert.
So if something happens to the pipe, they in trouble.
Yeah. And electricity, they still have that problem with electricity. Now, they have 13 tribes, and each one of those 13 tribes have their own language. They have 3 dominant languages: English, African, and German, because the Germans settled it way back when white people was taking over everything. And so that was one of the major things. To go to college in Namibia, it costs about 40,000 rand a year, which is $2,355. So it's real cheap to go to college in Africa.
Okay. This is a township, I
Swapamuni.
can't say it now. Yes. Swapamuni. And how many people are living in Mitchell?
110,000.
110,000 in this township, so, you know, it's all black. This is
Their market.
the market, and dried fish.
Yeah, everything is dry. Most people don't have electricity in this town. So the fish is dried, it's all fresh fruit. You know, those are anchovies, dried peppers, dried fish. As we go, you'll see beef hanging up. You know, they cutting it straight off and yeah.
You said they don't have refrigeration?
No, most of them don't have electricity. Yeah. And if you do have electricity, you prepay for it. Like you load a prepaid card, you prepay for your electricity. When you use up that electricity, they shut you off. So all of this all sorts of hardware, that came from a dump that was 5 or 6 miles away. They go to the dump, they clean all the stuff up, they bring it back in town and sell it to somebody else.
And food was pretty good, even though it's
Oh,
fried up like that.
I didn't. We ate on the ship. We're gonna come to something. Okay, now, go back a couple of times. If you see that, this is behind the wall here, but this is considered middle class housing here. You know, and they got tin roofs and different things. And we went to a lady's house. She actually makes clothes. And so she's in one of her outfits here. But from her scrap, she makes these dolls to sell to tourists like us. And she was there. Those are pictures of the dolls. Her granddaughter was her translator. And this is a little cafe. Slow down.
Okay, so this is a typical house, and the cafe we visited was just a little side building on the house like that.
It was aluminum lean-to.
Yeah.
This is the house.
We were supposed to.
This is just an aluminum lean-to they built and put cloth on the side. It's literally 8 feet wide, you know, and very long. 2 rows. We took tables outside and put them inside so people wouldn't be in the sun. Now, it was another lady having a birthday party for her son who was turning 1 year old. And this guy, he came up in a Uber, got out, met the family, took the pictures, did the cake, got back in another Uber and left. I'm going, that's all right. Young guy, he was 20-something. Camera looked as good as mine. I'm going, okay, life is good, you know.
How was the food there, Mitch?
I didn't eat that. But now this was supposed to be a cultural experience. So they had the paste, they had some greens, and they had some of those worms you saw in the market. So that's what they were serving us.
They call it a porridge. It's some type of grain that's cooked kind of with water. It tasted like unseasoned grits. The greens were like very seasoned turnip greens. The worm, I did not try. But it's a delicacy. They can only get it certain times.
No, go ahead, keep talking. I'm gone.
So you're supposed to pinch off the porridge and then put some greens in it and then put the worm on top.
trail of worms.
You just get to the worms.
I didn't do the worms, I couldn't.
That's the one right there?
That's
Yeah.
the worm.
Oh.
But they are
Look like it's
They
dry.
are cooked, yeah.
They're cooked, dry spice, but I couldn't.
So that's my wife
I would taste it,
eating.
Yeah,
I think.
so.
And the only, actually, the tour guide was the only one that ate the worm.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the worm.
Yeah. And he's sitting there by himself.
okay.
You know.
But he's eating worms.
He ate
Yep.
the worms.
Yep. Okay, so, now, so the overall population for Swappamoon was 89,000. And now you look across here, this is part of the shanty town. So of that 89,000 that live in this city, 17,000 of those people live in shanty town. And that's us driving up to it. You see all out back there? All those are little shacks, yeah, yeah.
Basically.
They live on the outskirts of town, and literally, they have, you know, they're made of tin, you know, they get tires to put on top of cloth to keep the wind from blowing the stuff off the roof, but they get all their stuff from the landfill. So that's what that is. Saw lots of barbershops, people still trying to generate money. But, you know, we just saw kids along the way.
The tin doesn't make it hot on the inside?
Yeah.
I'm sure it does.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Okay, and this is, go back one. This is a typical size. So it might be as long as one pew and maybe 3 deep. That would be the size of one of these right here. And if you see right here the light poles,
Right.
the light pole is the legitimate side of the shantytown. That means you were allowed to build there. Everywhere there isn't a light pole, you're not supposed to be building there. And they everywhere. Now these are the houses that they're supposed to be aspiring to get to. It was literally, I counted these, that's just one row of houses. There's nothing behind there. So it was like 20, maybe 25 houses. And it's a 10-year wait to get in these houses from them 17,000 people.
Okay.
It's a joke.
So there's several rows of those houses, and they're less than 20% occupied.
Right.
You have to go less than 20%. You have to go through a government process and prove that you have a job and that you have so much money before they will let you. So it takes 10 years of paperwork before you can get a house.
Unemployment is currently at 28%, and they think that's good because during COVID it was 46%.
Because
So,
tourism is very big, so.
and you see these pipes? Each one of these pipes represents a bathroom.
So that's the
Okay.
bathroom.
So each one of those shanties, you share a bathroom with about 5 shanties. So, you know, right here, this is where you get your water. None of the shanties have electricity or running water. So you pay 10 rand, they give you a card. They load your card up with rand, then you pay 10 rand per liter for water. And you go to one of these water things, you load up all the water on your card or whatever, and you wheelbarrow it or take it back to your shanty. Okay, this is a herbalist house we went to, and she's the herbalist, and she showed us all the stuff she sells and grows and stuff to help you, you know, for all sorts of stuff, you know.
As an example, if you were a young man and you had your sights on the lady, the way to impress the lady and get her, you had to have a turtle shell with some coyote fur or something like that, and some other herb in it to move. That was her medicine.
Okay. Now this is an example of some of the language, and if you've heard some Africans, they go, he used the word tum, and you had either a thumb or cum or and it's different. And one was love, one was fight, one was something else. Hang on. Let me see if I can turn the sound.
Say the wrong thing.
I don't think he got it.
Okay, but he's
He's telling you how to say it.
he's going through it and teaching us how to say all of that.
Okay, I'm gonna move on.
Yeah. Let's see now. A couple of other things about the shantytown. Of all of that you saw, they have one fire department and one fireman on duty. So, you know,
Volunteer firefighters.
And no water.
And no water.
and no water. Think about that. Yeah. So when those shantytowns catch fire, it's a real disaster. So the other thing is health care there. If you get sick, it costs $4 rand to go to the doctor Monday through Friday. If you get sick on the weekend, it costs 300 rand to go to the doctor.
It's just like
I thought that was real appropriate. So, you know, the tour guide says, you know, people try not to get sick on the weekends. Okay.
Okay, that's the end of that section.
Okay, so you gonna go,
Oh, that's why.
oh, so that was the 26th, that was my birthday, you can go through that. They dressed, they made the room up for us and did that. When we came back, they had all of that made, so. Our next stop is Port Elizabeth in Angola Bay. So that's where this is.
That's more like a city, huh?
Mhm. Now, Robin took this picture. No.
Caca, bird caca.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna take that picture. Robin took that picture. She said, ooh, we gotta walk on this. And we had to walk on it for 2 days. Getting off and going on the ship.
What kind of bird? You are.
Seagulls.
Okay.
Well, which
Yeah, this is a famous cactus plant in this area. And this plant is probably 80 or 90 years old. And it just grows deep roots down in the sand. And, you know,
the bug in there helps to fertilize.
Fertilize and all
Not
that.
fertilize, yeah,
ferment, whatever.
no, to make it fertile, to spread its
Okay.
pollen.
So in Port Elizabeth, it's 1.2 million people. Their main source of income is exporting tires, sheep, and tourism.
Okay, this is actually in the high desert in Namibia. And as you can see, it's cold.
I was
up
like, what you
there.
doing with a coat on
No,
in the
it's
desert?
cold. I have all that on and I'm still cold.
Yeah, so, and this, you saw that back there, what it looked like desert. Go back one. Oh, well, but you going
Oh,
down.
I'm going for it, that's all
Never
right.
mind, it's fine. We were gonna go down into this. So we traveled across the desert, and then you see all this stuff in the background, which doesn't look high
Right.
until you see us down in there, and it's like all of it's very deep. So if you're out in the desert, this is actually on the way to an oasis. So if you're walking, you ain't gonna never find this place unless you just accident up on it, and you can go through that now. You see how high these walls are, you know, you're going too fast now.
I
Okay.
know, I'm going back.
That's fine, don't worry about it. But that was me trying to show the height of the walls, but you know, it was cold, it was probably 65 there. And then you run into this oasis where they got water and green grass growing. farmland, you know, and this was actually a working farm, and then they made it into a tourist spot. Literally 40 miles out in the desert. So, you know, it's just amazing how you just run into stuff. Yeah, yeah. You could get camel ride. Nope. You get camel rides. You could get dune buggy rides, 4-wheeler rides. You know, and years ago, it was a guidance counselor in Mitchem, and she went to Egypt and rode a camel and came back with a rash that lasted 2 months. I said, I'd never ride a camel. That's my story. And I wasn't taking that chance.
Okay, put that in.
Okay.
I went down, but I didn't.
Okay.
Didn't just hit.
Then just go back over.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just look adventurous. I'm really not. I'm not.
Everything I asked you, did you say no?
Yeah. I'm the safe one. I'm gonna be taking your picture when that animal gets you. I'm not gonna be the one that got. And this is our second game reserve. This is Kwawantu Private Game Reserve. It was 6,000 square meters. All of these animals survive. This is the one where the elephant was coming, you know, and everybody was backing away from the side. It was coming, you know. And this literally is the rail to the Jeep that we were in. So when you see that, go back to. Yeah. You see how close? You know, I'm on the other side snapping this picture and going. So, you know, and then it just decided to move on. But all these animals literally survive on their own. So they have to forage and do whatever they need to. More wildebeest with a baby. Another pregnant zebra. And this was the rough I was telling you about. When it stands up straight like that. And you see the stripes on it.
Well, that area got more greenery.
Yeah, yeah. This is a different country.
Oh, okay.
This we're
No, we're still in South Africa, but we're in Port Elizabeth.
yeah, Port Elizabeth,
Oh, okay.
a different province.
Yeah.
Now this, go back one. I wanted to show you this. This right here, I don't know what it is, but it's actually on the lookout for predators. It never moved. It just watched us. Didn't move, didn't do anything, and go ahead. So he's right here. But they're actually spread all around, and the tour guide said, you know, they take turns watching so that predators don't sneak up on them, because the lions were hunting here. So they have, right, and we really didn't see him. We went around the corner through the trees, and then the driver said, oh, he's back there. And
So y'all saw enough our lions?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, all of these are actual pictures that I took from the, now this one did have better sides,
Oh, okay, I can see.
but
Pretty close.
Yeah.
well, some of them might not have been. I had a zoom lens
okay.
too, you know, so, okay, now, these right here are termite heels.
Oh, what? Termite.
Right now.
Really?
So you heard of the anteaters? The anteaters break these open at night and eat those. But the amount of, I mean, that heel was probably 3 feet tall. You know, so it was a big deal. Now, this is a warthog here, and he was running along the road, and then I took the picture from the lion in the bush, and this picture here,
Oh, I see the line over there.
I photoshopped
Yeah,
that.
okay. Look like he getting ready to leap.
Yeah. So, I was just playing around with that. Now we're at, this part of the reserve here are captured animals that they're either rehabbing, or they are a danger, or they were killing randomly, and they had to put them in. These are brother and sister. They're white lions, so that's why they're captured, because they might not can survive in the wild. Okay? They're both albino.
So the albinos can't survive because of their white color. The
Oh.
prey sees them.
Oh, okay.
And the
Okay,
different.
yeah, all of these, that's the water buffalo, the antelope, black water buck. No, you went too fast. Anyway, that was the elephant you just saw there. And then the last one is a rhino.
Oh, okay.
And these are two sisters here. They're in captivity. Oh, no. This one here, that's a Bengal tiger and an African lion. And those two don't normally exist, but the way they get them to exist is they put them both to sleep and they rub their paws together. So they got the smell of each other when they wake up. And they accept each other like they sister and brother. And so, and this is another one that's actually in an enclosure, just hiding, looking it up. Okay, these are the two sisters here.
The
These
bad
two,
girls.
yeah, they call them the bad girls because they were making 8 to 10 kills a day and not eating any of the food. They were abandoned as cubs or as teenagers, so they didn't have a pride to teach them that you only hunt and eat. So they were just killing indiscriminately. So they had to bring them in because they were just killing indiscriminately.
Oh, boy, bad girl, all right.
Yep, the bad girls.
Yeah. Yeah. And, okay. This is Durban, Africa. Another stop, and that's Purchin. The capital is Purchin. I don't know.
Yeah, Petersburg.
Yeah, it's 1.2 million in this area. Slow down.
Okay.
There's 1.2 million people in Durban. This area is the largest part of the Zulu nation. 82% of the people are part of the Zulu nation, which is the main religion there, and then Catholic, and then Christianity. So those are the three main ones.
Muslim?
Nope.
No, okay.
Zulu, Catholic, and Christianity. Their main export is eucalyptus trees, and that's going to come into play again with the snakes. Sugar cane, and the gas prices there was 22.86 per rand per liter. So, and this is one of their dams there, and near the Hovick Township. We went to the capture site for Mandela, and it was like a museum. This is a replica of the car that he was driving when he was caught. And he was actually hiding in plain sight. They were looking for him, and he was masquerading as a chauffeur, chauffeuring white people around. Now, the way they caught him, the CIA told him what he was doing. The U.S. told all of them, yeah,
Yes,
and told him his schedule, and that's how they caught him. You know, the U.S. is in everything. Yeah. This is a picture of his sail at Robben Island. They just had pictures of all of that, so I just took some pictures. This is the capture site down here on the road, and this is a distant picture of a monument for him. You can't tell, this is all metal, and you gotta get in the right angle and go to the next one, and you can see his outline in it. Okay, so when you get the right angle, you can see his face there. And then this is the actual capture site where they pulled him over and put him into custody.
And Ms. Spirit, you know that's propaganda, you know how white people would do it.
They did. Okay, slow down. This is one of the major waterfalls for this area. It's Hovick Falls. It's a natural waterfall. It's 310 feet tall on the Umagandi River. The Zulu people called it the Falls of Kadinoga, Gaza, which means a place of the tall. That's what it translates to.
That's a beautiful fall.
Yes.
And that was our tour guide, so I took her picture. Okay, now, this picture here, we were back on the bus, and I wanted to take the picture because this is a township that was legitimate. Is this the one with the,
It's the one with
you
every
see
road,
the road? Go on a couple more. Okay, they start one township and then people just come in and build their own stuff. So it starts out looking good on that first one where it was houses. And as we go on down the road, the houses get worse. They don't have roads. Okay,
Oh,
so,
I see where
yeah, right. So see, this is where it started.
This is,
Oh,
You know, they had roads and houses and driveways and stuff like that. To where it ended, you know, it was just people building shacks along that place. So they'll set up a township and people just come and put a shanty next door to you. They don't have.
people are villagers that don't have anything in their village, so they're coming into the towns to work, and they'll build those shanties, live in the shanties, then on holidays or sometimes on weekends, they might catch a ride back home. And that was the other thing we saw. There were always groups of people standing beside the road trying to catch a ride.
well, the land, it don't belong to anybody, any certain person?
Nope, they just squat on.
They're squatters.
Oh.
They just squat on. You know, doesn't make them any difference.
And this, so coal was the big export here, and that's all coal.
Mhm. Yeah, that's Richards Bay.
Yeah.
So this bay was built, it's only 40 years old. Their main export is coal, and 95% of that is shipped to China. They also mine aluminum, titanium, and wood chips from the eucalyptus trees as export. Okay, and that's when you go down the road, you see a lot of eucalyptus trees, and it don't have any grass around the bottom, because in order to harvest them, they burn all the grass out to run the snakes away.
Oh.
They just burn the place up, and then harvest all the timber. So you'll see all these places with burnt bottoms and new trees, and they just ran the snakes over to the next person's yard and then back. So, you know, I thought that was crazy. So y'all know I don't like snakes. This is St. Lucia's wetlands. It's 165 square miles of wetlands, and it literally is only 6 to 12 feet deep. So the hippos walk along the bottom and feed. You know, they walk around out there, but they have young adult hippos. They have crocodiles. We saw a slide, but we didn't see any crocodiles. So, you know, and this is what kind of bird is that? Hang on. A yellow weaver. And the slick thing about this is in the wild, they build their things over crocodile slides and over water. So snakes and stuff, they build them on these little thin reeds, so the snakes can't get there to their nest. And that was them building the nest, and it's over water, and it's a way of protecting their young. I thought that was, pretty neat. And just lots of hippos. This looked like 2 hippos engaging in mock battle, but these are actually 2 juvenile hippos here. So when you go to the next few, you see them, and they look big and all that. But you're gonna see one big one come. That's them, and this is a big one.
Oh.
So you see the size now. They were just babies, and this was the site where the boats docked and stuff like that.
Is that the real color of the water?
Yes.
Yes.
It was muddy brown. Not wanting to swim in it.
Now where you
But
going?
people swim in it.
Oh, really?
People come at the waterfall. That was like a park. So people, came to look at that. This is a reptile habitat, a Zulu crop. This is where I,
Snake.
yep,
365?
Different types.
yeah. I just took pictures. I was supposed to talk about that. That was a baby python he was holding. Yeah. Now see, that's Robin's hand right there. And if you could hear this sound, I say, I'm good. He's holding it in front of me, I'm good. Keep going. So I did not.
What kind is that? He look like.
That's a Cape Cobra right there on the stick. Now the handler, he had been working there for 3.5 years, and he was supposed to work there for 2 weeks. He had just sold his farm so he could move to the U.S. and COVID hit, and he's been there ever since. He had sold his farm, couldn't come to America, and now he's a snake wrangler, and crocodile wrangler. Okay, so this is the crocodile portion, and that they're in this enclosure. This is what keeps it safe, because they can't lean up against that because they'd have to go back. But he's actually feeding them chicken there, and they are huge. And they separate them by babies, 3 to 5 year olds, and then 5 to 12 year olds, and then older. And he's got a piece of chicken in his mouth.
No, that ain't chicken. That was something big. That's something bigger.
Oh, okay. And yeah.
They started coming out of the pond as soon as they heard the guy's voice, because his voice means food.
And I wanted you to notice, they can get around pretty good. And he's just taking his time, but it ain't like if they wanted to rush you, if you didn't see him, you might not get away. So, yeah, and he's one of the large ones. But as he got close, you see, he just like, I'm out to get you. So like I said, I stay away. And that was a juvenile.
It's actually
A miniature
crocodile.
crocodile. Yeah.
They're different types.
But he was eating chicken too. And that's more weaver birds building nests. So, sorry, I'm a photographer, so a boar or one of the big snakes that squeeze you. Yeah. So it's 2 different types of constrictors there. And that I just wanted to show how long it was.
Oh, leave it alone.
Yeah. Now see, I look brave when they behind glass, don't I? Yeah, you see he got his foot ate off.
Oh.
Yeah, they not without they issues.
All right. That's it.
All right. So,
Question?
16 days, 16 days.
How many days y'all, total days did you,
21,
Yes,
you know,
21 days.
with flying time and all that stuff.
So when you were on the ship, how often did you get off the ship and get back on? Or were you off one time and?
Oh no, every one of those, every time I changed over there, that was a different port. We
Well,
probably had 9, 10 ports.
some of the ports we spent 2 nights at. And of course, the port's always down, and then everywhere we went, we were going uphill. So you leave the, port, and then you just start climbing. So even the desert, once you left the port, you start climbing up into the high desert.
So if you see each one of these green dots, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had 8 ports.
Started in Cape Town, and then went up the western side of Africa, of Southern Africa to Namibia. Sailed back past Cape Town and did the southern tip. And then we were supposed to go up, well, we did curve up some, we were supposed to go to,
Trying to get that map back.
yes, but it was,
Too windy.
yeah, we had rough seas, so they couldn't get there.
Wow.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Maputo,
Now we had 2 days that we couldn't get to,
to Peru.
2 days of 50 knots per hour winds. And if it's over 45, they won't let any ships come into port. And each time a port comes in, a ship captain will come out, take control of the ship and guide it into port, because he knows all the things to do. So it was too windy to go to
We couldn't get back.
Namibia,
Yeah,
and we were delayed 6 hours on going back into port when we were getting back, just to get into Cape Town, because it was 55-mile-an-hour winds.
oh, boy.
And so, 55 knots. So, they were trying to time it where it was gonna be calm enough for us to get in. We had like a 3-hour window to get in. And we made it in, otherwise we were gonna have to stay another day because of the high wind. And that's kind of normal in that area. You know, our average wind day is 15-mile-an-hour wind. It's you know, because they're in that mountain range, the wind's just blowing all the time. Now me as a tennis player, I would hate that. It's wind all the time, you know, but that's a nice, cool day for them. You know, and it just works for them. But high winds are, you know, anything over 45 knots. And
18 hours, 12 hours, how long was the flight? We left, yeah, it was long, it's long, it's like 15 hours or so, you're on there a long time. Most flights leave at night, they give you dinner, then they turn the lights on, off, so everybody
Let
goes
go
to
sleep.
sleep.
Oh, okay.
And then they'll, wake you, you know, an hour or two before you land and give you breakfast.
See, I was wondering when you all went all the way up, you had to come back to Cape Town to leave, right? So that you went up, cause I was wondering if you have to have another port, but you came back.
We came back to Cape Town.
Oh, okay.
That fruit from here to what this,
We go from here to Houston,
luggage, and how they can do that and not have to stop anywhere. That's amazing.
Yep.
It's truly amazing. Too long for me.
It's too long on these roads.
Oh,
I think it's too long for me now. I used to,
that's
So
so long.
you sleep, you watch a movie,
Well,
too?
now,
Maybe if I could get the Dulles, drive the Dulles. Get on the plane.
Well, you all, let's give them a hand. I enjoyed my trip to Africa. That's the only one I'm gonna get. Well, I'm just so proud that we have members in our church that can give us those experiences.
Yeah.
And
Live it through, y'all.
yes, we can live it through them, that's right.
I hope I didn't bore y'all with the
Oh,
details.
no, we enjoyed
I
it.
like to know, you know, where people get paid and
It was,
how much
yeah.
life costs. That's always been interesting to me, how other people live, you know, and,
It was educational and informative. Thank you all so much.
Where we going next?
Yeah, when we're going back. I'll let, okay, well, next, you all, we do have food in the back. We have requested that it be boxed up, so each person can get it, but they didn't do it, so.
You just have to pick
So,
your own plate.
yeah, so we'll just let you get your plate. We have baked chicken and we have fried chicken. We have either potatoes or mac and cheese. And this is from Bobby D's out on 65th, and they usually have really good food, so be sure and get your plate. And at this time, we'll let Reverend Hunter give us the closing prayer.
thank you all. Thank you for that.
Good job, man.
Appreciate that. And for taking the time to take pictures and bring them back to us.
Reverend Humphrey, you looking mighty spiffy.
Oh, I'm trying to hang in here. Let's stand for closing prayer. Lord, we do thank you for your blessings, for your opportunities. We thank you for allowing us to have these experiences in life that so many have not had the opportunity to have. And we count it a blessing. We thank you, oh God, that you have allowed the parish to make this presentation to us. And we thank you for what we have gained from it. And Lord, we thank you now for the food we're about to receive for the nourishment of our bodies for Christ's sake. Amen. Dismissed.